Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're here in Lexington, Illinois. I always love new discoveries on Route 66, and this is a new discovery for me. It's not a new building. In fact, it's got long Route 66 routes, but it's new to me. Just been here about 2 years.
Yeah, I've been here 2 years.
We're here with Kelly Tobin, owner and pizza master of Kelly's in Lexington. And just enjoyed a great lunch and a delicious dessert. And Kelly's got a long association with the area, but he's discovering the international fascination with Route 66. He was sharing his guest book with me a few minutes ago. Isn't that astounding to be in Lexington and have people from France and Germany and
Every day, somebody comes through and you're like, why would they stop in Lexington? You have to just wonder, but it's Route 66. And only a fraction of them are stopping. That's how many more people are going down the road that you never even witness.
It's snowballing. International tourism has declined a little bit in the last year or two, but Route 66 has been somewhat immune to that. And it's amazing that this road has that kind of an international following. But your family has a long history in the area with restaurant business, right?
That's right. We were in Bloomington. And my family, I was raised in the pizza business, and my grandmother had a bunch of recipes. She was a restaurateur as well. But what's amazing about Route 66 is that on that route, you just get people every day and they're on a tour, and they're starting in the morning, and they're just going to enjoy whatever they can find on the way. And they'll stop and take pictures here. Sometimes it's just a coffee or something. But other times they're here to eat, and they just love the fact that they made it here, and they heard about us from somebody else. So.
Well, with all this publicity, social media, when you have something like this mural, they're going to advertise for you. Even if they don't stop and eat, their neighbors are going to see this at home.
Well, and I've had a lot of people say that they've recognized us or found us on a blog or a website or a Route 66 site in Germany or in France. And I think that's just amazing because it's in our backyard. We don't even know it.
It's the same, though, all along Route 66. A lot of communities are not aware of what they have just right here. And, there's a little town of Texola. It's literally a ghost town. I think there's like 25 people left. And Mazzelle, she went and bought an old restaurant. It was so bad, cows were literally going through one door and out the other. And she converted it into a restaurant in a ghost town, and she's busy all the time.
That's cool.
Because of this road. Yeah, it's pretty astounding. How long did your family have a restaurant business in Bloomington?
So from 1963 until 2000, I think it was 2000 is about when we sold it. So, and then I ended up going to work for another company after my parents sold the restaurant.
I really like what you've done with this place, and I'll be posting pictures a little bit later about the counter you used, the old truck.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about some other little touches around here.
Well, we wanted to have some features that people would like. We have a Tin Man out front that we have a photo area where people can take pictures, and it says Lexington, Illinois on it, so people will remember where they took their picture at. I hate looking at an old photo album trying to figure out where you're at. And then we've got a motorcycle up on the roof to attract some attention to people. It couldn't just be any old motorcycle. We wanted one from the 60s, so it's a 67 BSA. My pickup truck's a 67 Chevy pickup, so we're trying to get it in the old range.
The main thing, though, is the food. Your food here is excellent. My wife really liked that pizza sandwich. That was delicious. And, of course, the dessert. You say that was your grandmother's recipe?
My grandma's recipe, yep.
That was a pumpkin
bars with cream cheese frosting and pecans on it. Oh, they're delicious.
Yes, they are. I don't know how, let's say I'm going to be needing a bigger set of pants by the time I get done with this trip, but those were delicious.
One of our featured desserts that we have all the time, the pumpkin bars we just have seasonal. We have a dessert called a pile-up. We take a huge cookie, a big piece of homemade chocolate cake, 2 scoops of ice cream, fudge, caramel, whipped cream, cherries, and sprinkles. And it's this big, it's just beautiful. And I said, if you're going to get in a pile-up on Route 66, this is the one to get into.
It's kind of black humor, but it works. It really works. That's a great use of terminology. That's very good. So how long have you been making pizzas?
I've been making pizzas basically my whole life. So when I was a baby, my parents bought a pizza restaurant, and they started doing it, and I was with them from there on. And I'm 57 now, so Most of my life I've been doing that.
What made you choose Lexington, may I ask? Because
I had a restaurant in Bloomington Normal, and it wasn't mine. It was one I worked for other people. But it just seemed like there was too many restaurants already out there.
too much competition.
Too much competition. So I decided to come out here and stand alone. There's 3 or 4 other restaurants out here, and you know what? It's really cool to be one of 4 instead of one of 400.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also then you're a pillar to help your city too. So we're helping Lexington. This was an abandoned, ugly old building when we got it. And we took it and rejuvenated it and made it a place where people come to, and they come here and they enjoy Lexington as well.
So this was a cafe, and I'll share these pictures a little bit later today, folks. But you had it was a cafe and gas station and garage.
Right. So Skelly gas station. That's what this area here was. This is actually, we're sitting under the gas canopy, which is where the pumps would have been.
No.
In the middle of my billboards where the door was to go into the office. But then around the corner, it's an L-shaped building. The other part was a cafe, and they were, from the day they opened, they were together, the gas station and cafe.
That was the Mesa Cafe, right?
Mesa Cafe, Toby's Mesa Cafe.
Toby's Mesa Cafe. How did, what year, do you have any idea when the cafe opened?
No, I think it was all in 1950. So the best I can find, I don't have any records. People told me they painted this building when it was brand new in 1950. This location, though, there was 4 corners of this corner, and all 4 of them had gas stations. 2 of them had restaurants. So it was a booming place.
Oh gosh, you know the traffic on Route 66. Today, Route 66 it's better than ever in its history, in my opinion, because now you can have fun with it.
Right.
Not have to just. When it was Route 66, it was kind of a nightmare.
Well, my grandmother, when she gave me these recipes, the ones that I was talking about, she worked at the Cinerac, and the Cinerac was in Bloomington Normal. It was a smorgasbord under the drive-in theater, and they would get 7 or 8 buses a day. Not just on weekends, not just on Tuesdays. Every single day they'd have 7 or 8 buses a day. So that's where I get some of these great recipes from. Is even back then, in the 50s when she worked there, that's how the business was around here.
You know, the traffic had to be just incredibly heavy. And I know in Arizona, I just was talking with Andy Sampson at the museum there. He's been pulling up some articles. And you mentioned going up to Oatman. You know, how that nice twisty road through Oatman. In 1939 was the first time the state of Arizona clocked 1 million vehicles
On that road?
entering Route 66 into Arizona. And that doubled after the war.
Wow.
So can you imagine 1 million vehicles on that road? And this had to have traffic very similar.
So Route 66 is behind us. The original 1929 and 1926 model is right behind us and goes that way. Then the 4-lane, when they became a 4-lane, that's where it was. And I don't know when the 4-lane started. As long as I remember, it was a 4-lane. So 2 northbound and 2 southbound.
Oh, that was in the 1940s. My understanding is that they've done a little bit of it here. They've done a little here. They're turning a lot of the abandoned 4-lane into bicycle corridors.
Right, and that's what we have here now. So we call it the boulevard, but across the street from Route 66 then is the former it was the former southbound lane.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now bicycling Route 66. Now, to me, that's kind of crazy, but with these bicycle corridors like this, you're going to see more and more people
they
doing
do it all
that.
the time.
Yeah.
And there's also people that do sections at a time.
Yeah.
This weekend I'm going to do, one state. Or this weekend, and they do 55, 60 miles a day.
Yeah.
And that's what I have a car for, though.
Yes. I always used to enjoy riding a bicycle, but I mean that's brutal. I know Zdeněk Jurisic of the Czech Republic just did a documentary about bicycling Route 66. He took an award for it. And Adventure Cycling Association now has a GPS and map series and guidebook to bicycling Route 66. Wow. And then I'm trying to think, Lon Halderman has a bicycle tour group now, and they're bicycling Route 66 for regular tours.
Our first year when we opened, in March I had 55, 60 women it was a women's group, and they were going to take 52 days to go all the way from Chicago to California. And the neat thing was they started in Chicago, so we get them on the first day.
Yes.
They're not all worn out yet, but I'm sure they got beat up and battered by the time they got all the way down there.
Yeah, it's just really astounding. Lexington has been, of course, they created Memory Lane outside of town, Are they capitalizing on Route 66? Are they?
Oh, not really, not
No.
really. And it was abandoned. You know, this building was abandoned, and there was nothing across the street. Now we've got a thrift shop across the street as well.
Yeah.
And Memory Lane was the only thing that was Route 66. There's a abandoned ice cream parlor, the Oasis Drive-In down the street that nobody's done anything with yet. But all those things are possible Route 66 contacts here.
Now you're capable. You've got a nice little bar set up too for small groups and private parties. But
We hold about 85, and then I've got seating out here for 48. So, you know, we can get up to 150.
you can cater to tour groups and buses here.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of times the buses are going to stay in Bloomington normal area, and I'll deliver to them. If they come by and take a look here and then go back and get relaxed at the hotel, I've delivered to different groups. I had a group of Corvettes from Canada just a couple weeks ago. They came in, they took pictures, had a good time here, went home to the hotel and relaxed, and then I brought them pizza and dinner.
That's a good service, a very good service. This would be a good stop for tour groups because you don't have to worry about the traffic with parking and
No,
the
not at
hassles.
all.
It's more relaxed.
Another thing is we really pride ourselves on having the cleanest bathrooms on all of Route 66. If somebody's cleaner, I have to give them an award, but otherwise we're going to be one of the cleanest bathrooms you're ever going to find.
And Kelly gave me a tour of the ladies' restroom, and I got to say that's pure class. What you've done with the ladies' restroom here is just pure class. That's a nice touch.
When my wife and I decided to do the planning, we had so many things we wanted to do, and we got to do most of them. There's a list of about 20 items that had to be the way they were. One of them was to make sure we had the restrooms right as you walk in the door, so when you come off the road, or if you have a bunch of kids with you or whatever, you can go in and use the bathroom before you have to go through the whole building. I hate having to walk through the whole dining room just to get to the back of the bathrooms. But also to make them handicap accessible and make them a place that people can feel that they can relax for a few minutes. So, but there was also many other things. We have a kids' playroom over here. In the it's an isolated area where the kids can go and play in a play kitchen.
An arcade too.
An arcade and a little bar area. One of the few things that we didn't get was I wanted to have a pizza viewing area where people could watch me make pizzas. But the way the kitchen turned out, it was back in a back corner, so we really can't have a window into there.
Yeah. And the bar is extraordinary. I love what you did with that bar. That's the bottle caps. That's a neat idea.
Yeah, that was our we decided we should be Santa Monica in there since that's the other end of the trail.
Did you have to drink all the sodas and beers
Actually,
for the bottle caps?
A local guy gave me the 5-gallon bucket full of bottle caps. We had to sort them and clean them and straighten them. And the bad part was my wife and daughter did all that work. And then when they got done, I had to tell them, you guys got to pick it back up and glue them down now. So then, it actually took me 8 hours just to pour the poly resin on top of it.
It came out very nice.
So.
This is neat. This is the very essence of Route 66 right here, though. The personal service, the business, the mom and pop shops. And you know, one of the things that's neat about Route 66, and this exemplifies it, and you and your family really exemplify this, is that it really is the last bastion of mom and pop business, where mom and pop businesses can thrive.
Oh, really? I mean, I agree. You go to a town and you try to find one that isn't a chain.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So.
But on Route 66, they're thriving. Yeah. Well, gosh, Kelly, thank you for this today. Thank you for a great lunch.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, it's really my pleasure. This is good, and I hope you can attend some of the conference down in Normal this weekend. Be good to see you.
If you enjoyed this, tell all your friends. If you don't have any friends, tell your enemies. We'll take everybody.
And the food is delicious.
Thanks.
Absolutely delicious. We can attest to that. Guys, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
You bet, Kelly. Bye-bye. Folks, we'll see you a little bit later from Normal.